Hello and welcome to episode 4 of the Elite Sports Debate podcast. And we have got a lot to talk about. So, how's it going, my mate?
Yeah, very good, very good. Just recovered.
Just quickly, you're back from Glasgow. How was it? I mean, I know the answer, but please tell the listeners.
Magical. It's the ley lines. It's all about those ley lines. It's just
Did you
the
get
most
anywhere? Did you
amazing.
get anywhere near the stage in Elton John, or were you at the same park arena?
I've never seen it so busy.
Yeah,
Definitely not.
It was the most attended one ever, wasn't it?
They made an announcement about 20 minutes before, telling everyone to stand up. So all the people who brought the deck chairs out to stand up, so it made more room. It was, Glasgow was just, weather was unreal. Everything was really special. So
Interestingly, Rudimental played at the same time on a different stage, and it was quite quiet. They're in my top 5 bands of all time, Rudimental. I would probably have gone over there.
No, you wouldn't.
I would.
No, fake news.
No, I would.
Fake news. No, you wouldn't. It's Elton John. It's
Elton.
Right. Think about this.
I'd have had a hell of a time.
Think about this, right? Elton John is never playing in the UK ever again.
I know.
You could get Rudimental to play in your back garden if you paid
I can understand that, and I'm not anti-Elton, by the way.
So for example, a really good example for me was I didn't go and see Lewis Capaldi because there was a secret set for Rick Astley and the Blossoms doing Smith songs.
Yeah, Goodway said that, and he said it was unreal.
Unreal. Oh, by the way, I'd like to formally apologise to Goodway for missing.
He won't be listening, mate. Probably won't be listening. So drop him a message.
multiple phone calls on the Saturday night.
I'll send him a little video recording. Okay.
I formally apologise, and
but I get it. I think it's a pain to meet up at Glasgow, right?
I mean, I couldn't really. His text messages were drunk, so therefore I didn't really want to. I didn't want to entertain that. And then it was.
I can't imagine you were particularly sober yourself.
Nope.
Confirmed.
Confirmed. So no, we had a really good spot for Fatboy Slim. So yeah. I hope he enjoyed it. I'm sure he did. I know I would have added to the occasion, but another time.
Good old Fatboy Slim, Brighton legend.
Oh mate, Brighton.
Big old legend.
Yeah, his son was in the crowd on shoulders at the front. It was incredible.
There must have been a few Brighton flags out.
By the way, as well, next one. So I'm there. My girlfriend was in attendance with us in a big group. Rita Ora comes out. First thing that comes out of my mind was, "Wow, she's fit as fuck."
I feel like I know well.
Yeah.
Because they got that. That's it. Praise You, isn't it? It's quite a new one.
Yeah, it was great.
Nice. Perfect. Good. Yeah, I'm tempted to go down and see. He plays at Brighton every year, Brighton on the Beach. And last year, our first viewing of our kit was that Whistling. He released our kit, Brighton on the Beach. So I'm dead tempted to go down there. That'd be a class night. So very tempted to do that. Right. We need to talk about quite a lot. There's quite a lot to cover about a certain.
We talk about elite sports. We talk about elite sport, and the elite sport that is happening currently is the cricket, and it is elite sport. It is elite sport that's happening.
To show you how good it is, Charlotte doesn't watch any sport at all. No interest. She was glued to this. I was like, Charlotte, this is incredible. She was like, this is incredible. It really was one of those moments where even the non-sporters go, this is mad.
And I know that you want to bring this up, but I first of all want to make a really quick statement about Bazball, right? So for people who don't know, Bazball has been a philosophy that they've gone into. Now, England for the past 8 years have been the best white ball team in the world, right? They've won the World Cup. They've come close in the T20 World Cup. They've just been really, by being aggressive, okay? And what they've tried to do is tried to be aggressive in the red ball game. Now, the red ball is different because it moves around, okay? Especially in this country, yeah? So this country, the wickets can be a little bit greener, the weather can be a little bit turny, and yeah. So the issue has come that England have got a number of injuries going into this Ashes, okay? So Jofra would have been able to bowl at 90 mile an hour. Mark Wood would have been able to bowl at 90 mile an hour. Leach would have been able to do 45 overs, okay, from a bowling point of view. The batting lineup is the batting lineup. That is as strong as it's going to get. There's no injuries in there. That's as strong as it's going to get. But the bowling lineup would have had some competition. So I just wanted to put my statement out there that there are some injuries that England had coming into this Ashes.
Yeah, definitely.
However,
the Mark Wood one's interesting because I was under the impression that he might have been fit, and no one's even mentioning him.
No. He is fit. He's fit for this test, so he might be in. So we're talking, by the way, the day after the end of the Lord's Test. Okay.
Yeah.
So Bazball is that they're approaching a very aggressive form of cricket, okay, and a very entertaining form of cricket, okay. Now, I saw at the start of the series that I thought there was really good odds on not one of the Test matches going to 5 days, and the odds were like 15, 20 to 1, I think, or something like that. And I thought to myself, that's really good because they're going to play aggressive cricket. Both Test matches have gone to 5 days, okay. So I'm in the camp that I really like it. However, there's certain people who can play it better than others, okay? And Ben Stokes plays Bazball the best in the world. The best in the world. However, there's some others, like Harry Brook, who struggles to play Bazball, okay?
Are there any others apart from Stokes that play it well?
Bairstow?
Yeah.
You've just got to say yes. You've just got to say yes. Ben Duckett has played well this innings.
He's played well, but is that Bazball? Maybe.
Maybe. Yeah, he scored. I think he scored 98 for 120 balls. For an opener, that's Bazball. You know, Nat Crawley plays Bazball quite well. Yes, he got out stupidly running down his wicket, but it goes for 6, and you applaud it. So I made a statement that I think is really valid. I think that this generation may not get the benefit of playing Bazball, and what I mean by that is they may not win all of the series and Test matches that they should do by playing Bazball. However, there's a number of kids out there who are watching this happen and watching this play, and they'll get into cricket. More people will get into cricket because of Bazball than if you were to watch Marcus Trustothic leave every single ball that isn't going near his wickets. It's not going to inspire a generation. Kevin Peterson inspires a generation. Ben Stokes inspires a generation. Freddie Flintoff inspires a generation. Michael Vaughan.
Kevin Peterson and Andrew Flintoff weren't playing Bazball.
They would have been playing bad. They're on board with Bazball. They're on board. They are.
Not sure Peterson is. Have you seen his comments?
Oh, Peterson. Right. Wow. Right. Let's start with him.
Shambles.
No. He's talking. Did you hear him at the start saying, I can't believe that they're all mates. They all love it. They all love each other. They're walking out. It's the Ashes, God damn it. And I was like, Peterson, you were texting your South African mates. You were telling them the batting lineup.
Our plan, yeah. That's why you got sacked from the team, mate. Yeah.
But it's fine, Peterson. Go on, you say that. You say that.
Yeah.
You tosser, big lanky tosser. I hope he's listening.
Okay, I think it's a good time for me to come in.
Sorry. Yeah,
no, not at all. I think it's good that we both make our points. I hate it.
Okay.
I hate it.
So does Charlotte watch it if it's bad, not baseball?
No, probably not.
There we go. Done.
But is that important?
Entertainment industry. What difference does it make if we win? Seriously, what difference does it make?
Would you rather be entertaining and lose or not entertaining and win? I don't know.
I would argue that there's...
I'd rather play Sam Allardyce football and come in the top 4 than Pep football and come 18th. I'm a bit of a results man myself. That's just kind of the way I am.
Okay, I'm the opposite.
And the other thing I want to say is that I nearly picked you up on is, I get the whole bringing through a next generation thing, and that's fine. But do you want 12-year-old kids trying to hit a 6 in every ball in Test cricket? No. For me,
I want them to go out and enjoy it.
My biggest case is Test cricket. It's not 2020. That's my biggest thing, right? And I can understand there's a time and place for it, but for me, it's cost us. It's not purely and simply this, right? I'm not being deluded. It's not purely and simple. I don't see a bad shot and go, bad ball. Like, if it's a bad shot, it's a bad shot. But we were, 100 and something for one, going along so nicely. And then we play some absolutely rank shots when we didn't need to. Some of the shots, and I agree with KP here, some of the shots that I'm seeing in Test cricket, I'm like, what are you doing? All in the name of baseball. Even Root, when he got out earlier, it's like, what are you doing, mate? So I just feel like you kind of touched upon a little bit earlier, it was born out of 2020 cricket because it's 2020 cricket. That's why. Yeah. And Australia aren't doing it. They're playing Test cricket. And yes, I get it's entertaining. Look, these 2 Test matches are... And
they're also cheating.
We'll come to that. These are 2 of the most enjoyable Test matches I've ever watched. But I would probably put, genuinely, in terms of enjoyment, these are both in my top 5 of Test matches I've ever watched. Headingley's in the top 5.
Old Trafford, 2005.
Yep, brilliant, unbelievable. I put both these in the top 5.
Test matches or cricket? Test or cricket?
No, just like as a 5-day Ashes test.
Oh, okay. So Ashes test.
Yeah. Headingley, I couldn't agree more. Both of these 2, I agree. 2005.
I think
really special tests in Australia.
I think you're gonna no. I think you would struggle to name 5.
Yeah, maybe, but we know the Stokes one
because Test matches were boring before baseball.
I can understand that point of view. From an entertainment point of view, it's been faultless. I've loved it. I can't wait for the next one. I've never been this excited about Test cricket ever.
And has it mattered that we've won then or lost?
I'm a bit of a winner.
So say we lose at Headingley in the same fashion. Are you turning Old Trafford on?
I'm turning it on, yes.
There we go.
But I'm gutted if we lose.
But you're still turning it on.
Because it has been thoroughly entertaining. But it's like...
That's my point. That's my point, that in order to grow the game of cricket, you need eyeballs on it. Whether you win or lose, eyeballs... The winning will happen if eyeballs are on it, because then there'll be more funding to it. There'll be more people playing the game. Therefore, a better stream coming through.
Yeah. No, I can understand. I can completely understand where you're coming from. I get that, and I think it is good for the game in general. It's good for the viewing, definitely. I just don't think that Brendan McCullum has introduced this to be entertaining. I think he's introduced it because he thinks it works, and I think there's a time and a place for it. I think we've beaten.
It plays to England's strengths. We can't play the other form of Test match cricket. the other form of Test match cricket, which is leave it. We can't do that. We're not good enough to do that. We're not good enough.
Maybe we're not. And I think ultimately, by the way, as well, what I would say is, what people forget, I'm not being critical of England at all, because these two, whether people like it or not, we're 2-0 down. These have been two extremely close Test matches.
Yeah.
Extremely close.
If you play, if the third Test match is going in a similar direction and Australia win a game, they've got so lucky.
I agree. 3-0 would be flattering if it goes the same again. I agree with you.
Yeah.
I agree with you. We are playing against the best Test side in the world, by the way. And we're very close to them. So what I'm saying, I don't want to be critical of England. A word I wanted to use was proud. I know that sounds a bit melty, but when I was watching Stokes and Broad, I was super proud to be English.
Would you have been proud to be Australian?
No, and that's a good way. That's a nice way to come on to it. I'll start us off here. I'm very, very mixed on this. I'm not fully in either camp. I try and be as impartial. I think it's so easy to jump on the moral high ground in this situation because we love hating the Aussies, right? I'm very mixed. I can see both sides of it.
I think that, so me as a person, I am competitive, but I play sport for fun more than competitiveness. I'm probably more. When I was younger, I was a lot more competitive. I used to take it way more seriously. But however, so we both play golf, and the rules of golf frustrate the living hell out of me. So if I was walking down 18 and someone was in a divot in the fairway who I was playing with, say me and you were walking down 18, we're level par, both of us level par, and we're playing for our lunch, okay? If you were in a divot on 18 in the middle of the fairway, I would be quite happy with you moving it out the divot, okay?
And do you know what I would say?
You'd say screw you.
I'm saying I'm playing it anyway, but thanks.
No, but
I understand what you're saying.
I think I've matured to where I want it at a level playing field, okay?
Yeah.
Now, he's out, okay? He's out like offside in football. It's night and day. He's out. It's clear and obvious he is out, okay? And
well within the rules.
And it's reckless. And it's not reckless. It's lazy, and it's. However, this is a long Test match series. 5 days, 5 Test matches, multiple places, and we are hosting them, okay? They are coming to our turf. Now, I think it's a bit rude. I think it's rude.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
Second point as well, Steve Smith was crying 3 years ago.
I'm so sorry.
I'm never going to, it'll never happen. Yeah, couldn't wait. Warner, the same. Tosser.
It left it did leave a really bad taste in my mouth. And like I said, I want to stay as impartial as I can because I love to start screaming and shouting tosses at the Australians, like they did in the Lord's room, by the way. How funny was that?
Have you seen they've been banned?
The club members, yeah.
They've been banned.
Top.
And do you know what?
When I saw that, I was like, I can't believe what I'm watching. That hour of cricket, I got Dad to record it. I said, Dad, you need to record that hour of cricket with the controversial wicket, Stokes teeing off. Broad, by the way, I adore now.
I mean, you've always loved Broad.
I did anyway, but I love him even more now. What a shithouse. Oh, loved it. Did you see the bit when he stayed in? He was like, is that all right, guys? Am I okay?
Yeah. Right. Is this over? Is this over?
Yeah. And did you hear the clip of him saying to Alex Curry, that's all you'll ever be remembered for?
Yeah. But it's right. It's right.
I just thought the drama. And like I said, I agree with you in terms of the entertaining thing because it brings people in like Charlotte who aren't interested in sport. The drama with it, anyone, even if you don't like sport, if you like EastEnders, you'd love watching this. It was pure theatre in terms of the drama, in terms we felt hard done by. Stokes is so annoyed he's just teeing off.
Yeah, just literally, just
six after six, he just teed off. Screw this.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it was, you know, and then I loved Stuart Broad just battering it back at him, like battered it, like hit it so hard back at him. So
Cummins, have some of that.
Yeah, Cummins. So I think that Australia had a really, 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 really big opportunity to change. What was the benefit? Okay, so the benefit of doing it, you get Bairstow out. Okay, at the time, Australia were probably 1-10 to win.
They'd have won anyway. Yeah,
they would have won
anything,
anyway.
It nearly cost them the Test match.
Yeah, because it
fired us up that much.
Back. Yeah. So I just think that they didn't need to do it.
I agree, and I genuinely think and hope that Pat Cummins probably went to bed that night and thought, maybe I could have probably withdrawn that appeal. If they withdraw the appeal, it rights so many wrongs of previous bad situations where people actually go, fair play to them. We're in England's back garden. People would clap and they'd go, that's a class act. If they then went on to win the Test match, then that's a double class. You've won the Test match and you've done the right thing.
Yeah.
But it was sour, wasn't it? It was very sour.
Yeah. I think they just had a really, really, really good opportunity there.
People that say it wasn't premeditated, I disagree with that. Carey's clearly seen Bairstow go out the crease multiple times, and he thought, I could get him here.
Yeah, it was premeditated because he had his hands up before it hit the wickets. So he definitely meant to do it.
I didn't like the nature of it was sneaky. It was very sneaky. And then when they all celebrated, like, oh, we've got him, woo! It's like.
Have you seen when the bowlers walk up and then on the non-striking end, you'll get people who get a little bit of a march on a little bit quick, and then instead of the bowler bowling it, they'll do the wickets on the other side because then they're out of the crease. Does that make sense? What I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what happens there is it's very, very, very much against the rule, the gentleman rules, to do it without a warning. Okay.
Very good point. It's a very good point.
So I just think if Carey would have said, Johnny, I've got you, and threw it against.
Just spoke to him and said, look,
there's a warning.
There's your warning. You're out your crease. If you do it again, I will get you. You're absolutely spot on example. Dad said the same thing. And that's the spirit of the game of, if someone's out their crease bowling, and you knock the bails off, that is so frowned upon. It's a joke.
Yeah. Well, it was
frowned upon.
And it's very, very, very similar.
Very, very similar. He could easily have said, look, you're coming out your crease, Johnny. I'm going to get you here.
Yeah.
And then if he gets him, fine.
And do you know the next point, though, about the whole withdrawing the claim, right? Yeah. I don't know whether I agree with that, because you can't. It's almost like going up the other end and scoring their own goal. Yeah, that's going against the rules. I think you just shouldn't have done it in the first place.
What you do is
you give a goal back, don't
you? Yeah, which can't really happen in cricket. But
no, I just don't. I don't know.
The situation I would liken it to, which I've mentioned to people a lot. I don't know if you saw the Solheim Cup situation. There's such a similar situation with the gimme.
Yes.
So basically, the Suzanne Petterson is such a good example, I think, because basically, obviously in golf, it's a gimme. You say, that's good, Ches, pick it up. Within roughly 2 foot. Now, this girl hit it to a foot, went and picked it up. Naturally, it would be a gimme. Most of the time, even if you haven't said gimme, that's fine, whatever. Suzanne Petterson on this one occasion got annoyed with her not asking for a gimme, that she said, hang on a minute, I didn't give you that. And that's she's within her right to do that. The other girl picked the ball up without asking for a gimme. She's within her rights to do that, and that's fine. However, it's not in the spirit of the game. Now, yes, it's a similar situation in that the American girl was being naive. Johnny Bairstow was being naive. It's a similar situation, but it's still not within the rules, the spirit of the game. It
stinks, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, no, it does. That's what I mean.
Stinks.
It stinks. This is the problem, right? The rules are the rules. We have a rule book. And when those rules are followed, that can't be denied. And then the problem with that is we now just discuss the spirit of the game, and that's a whole wide bubble, isn't it? It's a very wide open book of what is the spirit of the game? What's your perception? This is people's perception of spirit of the game. I've heard some people say they did nothing wrong. I've heard some people say it's an effing disgrace. So it's all about perception and opinion. It's not about facts, because the facts are it's within the rules. They're not cheating.
No, and
it's not cheating.
It's not cheating.
It's just very tasteless.
Yeah, I would hate to win that way. I hate to win that way. I would hate to win that way. So and you know what? I think they've basically given England the G up that they need for the rest of it now. And if they go and lose these next two, and we go down to the Oval and it's 2-2, they've got themselves to blame.
And just quickly in the Solheim Cup, so America were miles behind, G'd them up, and they won.
Yeah.
Gave them the fire they needed. So again, in that quick, short-minded situation, you're like, oh, this is great because we've got Bairstow out. In the bigger picture, like you said, they referred to one with Josh Buttler. Apparently, he was early on in the Test series, and he withdrew it, and he came out and said, it's early days, don't need this.
No,
I'm looking into for the next 3-4 weeks. So
no, I love it.
The only other quick thing I want to mention on the cricket, because I know I spent a lot of time on it, and rightly so. We didn't quite touch on the end of the first Test, which was incredible, and we touched a little bit on the Bazball, but you weren't so much on the declaration. I was pretty against the early declaration. I think there's things that happen. Obviously, I'm not just saying it was purely that, but and again, it's the whole Bazball of we play to win, but sometimes drawing's not bad. And in a 5-game series, if you draw 2, win 1, win 2, and lose 1, you win the series 2-1. So we had control of the game in that we can play as long as we want here to guarantee not losing.
Yeah, I mean, and if you look at Lyon coming out to bat, so since him coming out to bat at the end, they got 15 runs.
Yeah.
Now, so those 15 runs were massive. 15 runs could have been really valuable, and he could have got those before declaring. He could have got those runs in 3 overs.
Just need to have a slog. Do a Stokes. He's capable, Root. He can hit a ball.
Yeah.
He's a good so you just say to him, look, don't worry about
hindsight,
your wicket, smash it.
It never worked. It never worked in hindsight. So you look like you look great now. If they would have got 2 wickets, if he would have got 2 wickets, it started hooping round. But what my mate said was they should have given them 12 overs, not 3. And that was the issue. They gave them not enough.
Didn't it? Either do it properly and give them more overs, or don't do it. It just it did feel a little bit wishy-washy, but that's old news now. But like I say, it was just an interesting one, and that was the biggest chat really from Test 1, and obviously the biggest chat from Test 2 was that interesting stumping. So, but I think we covered it.
And the fact that Ben Stokes is a god.
Oh, what an innings!
God.
And the thing is, it's such fine margins. You will never know what happens if he doesn't top edge that. We were favourites at that point.
Yeah, I think we were 45 to 55. I think.
Yeah, I mean we definitely went slight favourites, 100%. Because
did we?
I remember seeing 100%. Australia went 2.5, so England would have been about 1.6. Definitely.
Wow, that's quite strong,
because I had a little bit on Australia because I thought at the start of that innings they were too big a price considering it's the second highest total ever. So I was watching the prices quite closely, and when there was 4 wickets down, Australia went 1.05, and some of the boys were like, "Oh, cash out," and stuff. I'm like, "The test over, Root's gone, it's over." And then obviously what happened, and England went into Australia went out to 2.5. I was like, "Oh my god!" But look, I would have been happy. Yeah, exactly. But at the same time, I've been happy anyway because I'm watching history. I'm watching Ben Stokes get 200 to win a Test match, which is like unheard of, like really unheard of. So I was a bit mixed, but then So no. All I'm saying is, it's easy to say this and that and Bazball, and yes, I hate it, but he doesn't top edge that. We never know. We probably get there.
Mm-hmm.
So great test match. Another amazing advert.
Bring
Like
on Headingley.
Can't wait for the third test. Such entertainment. The most I've ever enjoyed Test cricket, easily. I have absolutely. Sometimes previously, we touched upon on the other pod. I've watched Test cricket and I've gone.
That's because they're all leaving it all the time.
Yeah, and now I watch Test cricket, and that hour or two, I was like, "Oh my god!"
You're gonna get a T-shirt with "I love Bazball" on it. I love Bazball, and on the back it says, "Don't care that we lost 5-0. I love Bazball."
I'm gonna get a shirt that says, "This is Test cricket, not 2020." Win the game
but
first. Don't worry about entertaining the crowds.
But I'm still watching it.
Because it is entertaining. I'll give you that. Okay, let's move swiftly on to football.
Yeah, football.
Well done to the England under-21s, a player I don't particularly rate at all, Anthony Gordon, with the goal. Didn't watch the game, but I don't rate him at all. He's rubbish. But scored the goal, and we're into the semis. So, yeah, he's rubbish. Well, he is now. He might get better, but I don't particularly rate him.
Tosser.
Yeah. So I didn't watch it, but I think it's something that people will start talking a bit more about now we're into the semis. As I mentioned to you off air, it's something that used to be bigger. Kind of the hype around it used to be bigger than it is now, but I think now we're into the semis. It'll start to gain a little bit of traction, and I enjoy it. One, because I love supporting England at anything, in general, but also I quite like watching it for like the wonder kids, if you like, and seeing who is getting picked and seeing who the future is. So,
however, I do want to make a point that, like, you've got Anthony Gordon playing, you've got Curtis Jones playing. Like, these aren't unknown people. Like, the players with 50 Premier League appearances a lot of the time. So there's no like hidden gems really. I don't know whether it's because I don't know whether it's because me and you have played FM for so many years. Like, I don't know whether it's because we take a lot of interest in football, but like I saw the starting lineup and I thought to myself, like, there's a lot of players that I know. I'd probably rather watch an under-17 World Cup than an under-21 World Cup, just because I don't know everything there is to know about the under-17 players. So it's
no, I don't completely understand what you mean, and I completely agree with you. So just really quickly looking at the lineup, like you say, Gordon's very well known. Madueke at Chelsea's quite well known now, big transfer fee. Jones is very well renowned. Jacob Ramsey, good player, but very well known. Like you said, he's not really who's that?
No.
Gibbs White, very well known. The interesting one I thought was Gomez. Is it Angel Gomez? Was he?
Angel Gomez. He was at United.
He was at United. Now he's at
Lille
or somewhere. Yeah.
Lille, yeah.
That's a really interesting one.
By the way, a lot of people at Man United talk about him being the most gifted technical player they've ever seen.
Yeah.
Interesting
one. Harwood Bellis is an interesting one. He had a good game. Hard to break through at Man City, right? And the keeper, Trafford, is Man City as well.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of possible hidden gems for you. Colwell, I'm not being biased. He's just top drawer. Keep an eye on him. He's just so good. That's why Chelsea want to keep him. And Aaron's is a bit of he's quite well known as well. Max Aaron's.
We know him.
Wonder kid. Yeah, exactly. But no, like you say, and then the people, even the ones that came on are just very well known. Smith Rowe, Cole Palmer, Ollie Skip. Like you say, very well known players. So
Ollie Skip's losing his hair. He's that old. So
how good is he in FM as well? By the way, frightening.
But he feels old to me. Like, he doesn't feel 21.
No, I agree. He looks older than he is, doesn't he?
Oh yeah, and by the way, in the meantime, all of this is happening. You've got Jude Bellingham who could still play for another 2 years. 2 years.
That's true.
So it's almost pointless sometimes.
Yeah.
Like I do think sometimes it's a little bit pointless. Because it's not. It's like it's the under-21 Is it World Cup? Under-21 World Cup?
I think it's Euros.
Under-21 Euros?
Euros, yeah.
But it's this shit under-21s. Because if they were any good, they'd be win the main team.
I get that, yeah. But I think it's worth keeping an eye on, especially if we win the semi. Then there'll be
sorry, it's not shit. It's just like these are what normal under-21 should be doing. Whereas if you're a freak, you know, like Jude, then you're at Real Madrid. You know, you've just signed for, you know, 100 odd million quid. So
yeah, exactly. Whilst we're on football, transfers, obviously since we last podded, it's been busy. I mean, it's picking up now, isn't it? It's really picking up. I think the key ones, I mean, Rice is the big one. 105 million is so much money. It's so much money, but at the same time, it doesn't feel like a rip-off. I know that's crazy, but English tax, young, leader, if they get 8 years out of him, you could argue it's not a bad bit of business.
The other reason why it's brilliant is because he's everything that Arsenal need.
Yeah.
You know, and then you start to look at their spine of their team, and it becomes very solid. The person who I think that they should have broke the bank for is Gundogan.
Yeah.
On a
he's
free.
He's such a good player.
On a free.
Yeah, we mentioned it before. Paying the money. But by the sounds of it, he was desperate. Did you hear what he said when he went to Barcelona? He was like, it was my dream.
Yeah, look.
Nothing stopped me.
No. And this is what happens.
He's not on much money there either, by the way.
There's a lot of people like Suarez. This happened with Suarez going to Barcelona. All of those people in South America and those kind of, and a lot of Europe, their dream is to play for Real Madrid, Barcelona, because they are just absolute giants.
The Barcelona one is so funny. Yeah. It's a huge club. Like, I'm not saying it's not. It's huge. People are going there and taking 80% pay cuts.
Because it's Barcelona.
Because it's Barcelona. But that shows you how big they are.
I'd take an 80%. I mean, I wouldn't because I couldn't afford to. But like,
I mean,
Barcelona,
we're not going to make it political. But I'd be going to Saudi, mate. If I'm Hakim Ziyech, if I'm Zaha, if I'm Zaha, perfect.
Yeah,
he was going to go to Saudi, but he failed his medical.
Failed his medical.
Yeah.
So a lot of people will know that I'm a physio who works in football as well, and medicals are very, very, very famous in the physio world. Dave Fever, who was a physio for 20 plus years at Blackburn, was previously at Man United before. I remember going to a talk like with him, and he spoke about medicals, and he said his aim in a medical was to pay for his wages for the year by reducing the transfer fee. So if you uncovered a knee injury, so say you signed a player for 10 million quid, and a fee was agreed, 10 million quid. Now the aim of the medical is to reduce the fee from 10 million to 9 million and if something was to, so say he was to come up and he's got a bit of a dodgy hip because he's had a number of injuries from that hip, then basically you put it back to the manager and say, boss, I've done the medical, he's sound, he does have a history of hip injuries, and if you can renegotiate on those issues, I think it's a risk worth taking. However, is it worth a £10 million risk? So therefore, Dave Fever said, I successfully paid for all of my wages by reducing transfer fees through medicals. And that's a great way to think about it. So medicals aren't about passing and failing. They're about risk and reward. So they look at Andy Carroll. So he's an absolute crock. He's got so many injuries that would you pay £1 million for him? No. You take him for free because you're not going to pay any transfer fee. So that's how someone like, so Ziyech, they've looked at it and gone, we can't make it work for the money that he's after. So therefore we're scrapping the deal. He's not failed his medical. We're just scrapping the deal.
I've got it here, 2 medicals. So 30-year-old appeared to be set for a switch to Al Nassr. Agreed a deal, 3 years. The ex-transfer has fallen through. The Saudi Giants uncovered hip and knee problems during his medical. Al Nassr quickly rescheduled a fresh batch of examinations for Friday in the hope of salvaging a deal. The second round of tests did not ease their fears, and the report adds the Saudi side are now resigned to missing out on him. There was a last-ditch attempt to push through a move where the Saudi club, like you mentioning, offered a deal with a substantially lower wage packet. He rejected it.
But he's rejected it because he knows he could get something lower in a different country. So because they need him playing, they need him out on the field. So that's basically what a medical is. A medical isn't about going, ooh, Jesus, I found a knee injury here. These are all known facts. These are all known things. Everyone knows about injuries. Everyone knows that Messi doesn't have any problems, whereas everyone knows that Ziyech has struggled to stay fit. So it's, everyone knows Harry Kane has had a number of ankle injuries. So the first thing that team is going to do is scan their ankle. So if they scan the ankle and there's multiple injuries there, well, then they go back to Levy and say, well, we're not paying. We scanned his ankle and it's goosed actually. So we're only going to pay 60 million now. We're not going to pay 75. And then that's when a deal can happen with it. And wages become a thing as well.
No, absolutely. No, just to clarify, like I say, kind of end of career. If someone came to me and I'm a free agent and you said 30 grand a week Barcelona, 400 grand a week Al Nassr, get me on that plane to Saudi, baby.
It just depends on how much money you've made in your career so far.
It does. It depends how much money you've made. I completely agree with that. I think it
because the
disparity as well.
I remember John Rahm saying him making another 40 million does not change the way he lives his life.
Yeah.
And
for some, especially end of career Westwards.
But that was what he looked at and he was like,
Richard Bland.
Blandy, Jesus.
Bye. Get me on that plane.
There's the lottery ticket, Blandy.
I just won the lottery. We made it, sweetheart. Break out the red panties. I love that one. So good.
Blandy,
So
just
absolutely. Exactly. For people if anyone that blames him for going is an absolute moron.
No, they're moron.
Anyway, so yes. Other big ones. You signed this fella, Dominic.
Yeah, I mean we know
him.
Do
I have a go at surname?
No, absolutely. No. We obviously know him through Football Manager, and if he's half as good, then he could potentially be a world
big talent.
He could be really good. However, Navigator springs to mind.
Yeah, but you don't get it wrong that much.
No.
You don't get it wrong that much. I mean, we never get it wrong personally, but you don't get it wrong that much.
Yeah. This is a non-Brighton chat, by the way.
It is. Okay, I've done well, mate. Come on. I've done well so far. You should be proud of me. We signed Bart Verbruggen today.
No.
The promo. Mate, the promo was class. We did the Simpsons promo. It was class. I'll have to send it to you. It's fucking brilliant. Anyway, sorry. I digress. Mason Mount, we all kind of knew it was going to happen, didn't we? Then it was stalled and they ended up accepting. I don't blame them for accepting. He's running out of contract.
So obviously Liverpool were in for Mason Mount, and I quite like that we just said no.
Yeah.
The deal wasn't working, so therefore we said no. So I'd hate to know what his wages are, by the way, at Man United. They're going to be mega. They're going to be absolutely mega. So, good luck to him. Good luck to him.
Yeah, I think it's one of those where I don't blame any party. I don't actually particularly love the player personally, just my own opinion. But I don't think it it makes sense for the player. He's getting more money.
Mm-hmm.
Chelsea are a very big club, but United are bigger.
Yeah.
It's a fact. Whether you like it or not, I don't want to say any Chelsea fans because they're a massive club, but they're not as big as United. Getting more money.
The biggest club in the world.
Exactly. So, but at the same time, so I don't blame Mount, obviously, but I don't blame Chelsea for accepting 55 to 60 million for a player that's got a year left. And I don't particularly blame United because, what would he have cost if he was if he had 5 years left? What would they want? 100?
Declan Rice. Declan Rice has got a year left. And he's going for 105. So
exactly.
and
so
obviously
I think it suits all parties. Yeah. He's an upgrade on Eriksen, in my opinion.
Ooh.
I think he's an upgrade on Eriksen. I think Eriksen's last 2. Do you know? I think Eriksen's last 2 years have been really average.
Eriksen played really well last year. He doesn't do assists, and he doesn't. So therefore, the listeners need to know that Johnny is obsessed with stats and output.
That's why I've always knocked Grealish a little bit. He had a good season this season, Grealish, but previously first season of Man City was dire.
So someone like Casemiro, Johnny doesn't really see his.
No, I like
what he brings to the team. He doesn't. Rodri doesn't see that by having Bobby Firmino is the best example. Now, Roberto Firmino made everyone around. No, Firmino. Firmino made everyone around him 20% better. Okay, but you didn't see the benefit of having a striker. Yeah.
But I don't agree with the Rodri and Casemiro because I do rate them and they do a great job, and it's hard to quantify them. I just feel when you're a striker, like I've always knocked Heskey a bit back in the day because I was like, he doesn't score and he doesn't do it, doesn't get any assists, but everyone's like, he makes Owen better. So I get it. I just feel with Firmino, like I feel like you were as good without him.
Oh, right. I'm waiting
when he's out the team.
I'm waiting for my cat to come in. My cat who's named after him. So he's God, mate. He's God.
No, he's a fantastic servant. Yeah.
He's God.
Fantastic servant. But no, yeah, we're going on tangent a little bit. Any other big ones?
No. I'm actually I'm quite enjoying the break from football. Like I find it all consuming when the season's up and running.
It's very different, isn't it? It's very different.
And I really, really, really don't like. I used to really enjoy it. I don't like transfer rumours. And I think it's much better the way Liverpool are doing it recently. I think Brighton do it quite well. Less chat and more just action. So when it happens, no one was talking about this Dominic guy before Liverpool signed him.
Didn't it?
It came, it happened, it was done. There was no big hoo-ha around it.
Yeah, they knew they had to get in before the release clause expired.
Yeah, same with McAllister. It was just release clause, done, dusted, over. And then Man United were having a little bit of a to and fro-in and stuff. And the one thing I'm really surprised about is I didn't think that Man United were going to do any business until the sale of the club had gone through. Now, if I'm a Man United fan, I am hating the Glazers even more because if they drag this on until the start of the season and they don't go out and buy Harry Kane because they're waiting for the there's almost like a transfer embargo on because they can't get anyone through. It would infuriate me. So anyway.
Yeah, no,
anyhow, less rumours, more action.
Yeah. Don't mind to watch out for, I think. Couple to watch out for by all accounts. I'm not banging on about Brian, but the Chelsea Caicedo thing looks very legit, and it looks like 80 odd million. So I think that's a good one to watch out for. And this Gvardiol, Man City, apparently it's all.
Yeah, I think
they want 100 million. They want 100 million, Leipzig.
And by the way, the people that they've got in centre back now. Ake, Akanji, Stones, Rodri,
Bring Gavardio in.
Diaz,
insane.
Gvardiol.
Laporte doesn't get a kick.
Laporte.
He's
Jesus
so
Christ.
good. He's going to be a hell of a signing for someone. Like Cancelo. It's going to be a hell of a signing for someone.
Yeah, Cancelo's back though. Sorry, Cancelo's back.
Yeah, they don't want him.
No,
so what do they do with him? A class player. Class.
Walker.
They're
trying to get rid of him. They're trying to get rid of Walker.
Yeah, Bayern Munich. Well, from what I understand reading yesterday, they're trying to nail Walker down, but Bayern Munich are tempting him with offers. By the way, I think they're kind of feels like Bayern Munich. Look, they're a massive club. They've always have been, but I feel like they're starting to push a bit harder to try and win the Champions League. By the sound of it, Kimmich has come out and said, "I'm staying because the project is great." What I'm saying is, going in for players like Kane, trying to get your Walkers, it feels like they're making waves a bit more than Mane and stuff like that.
Well, they've got a big manager, haven't they?
Yeah, I think they're going to be knocking on the Champions League door.
I think Mane's leaving, isn't he?
Leaving. It's a funny one because he had that spat, but
bit more than a spat.
It was very much a spat, yeah. But apparently the Senegal manager's come out and said that he's definitely staying or something like that. But yeah, anyway, because that would
I'd have him back at Liverpool in a heartbeat.
I can see him going back to Liverpool. Yeah, I could see that if he was to go, but I think they want to keep hold of him. Okay, we can talk about football all day. Not much else to say really, apart from you're going to come on to your fight sports in just a second. Yes. Wimbledon started today. Not much to say. It's only day one, but it's something we will be talking about. It's the greatest tennis tournament on earth. Anyone that says it isn't can just stop listening because it is. And yeah, I don't think much happened today. Djokovic won easily. I read something about a stupid rain delay or something. They should have just put the roof up. But
yeah, Djokovic. Did you not see Djokovic with his towel? Oh my God! It's so embarrassing. It's so embarrassing. He had his towel out saying that the air was damp and therefore it was on the grass. If anyone wants to hate him more, then by all means. But if you're expecting loving for Novak Djokovic, you need to choose a different channel because you're not getting it here.
Correct. You're not.
And I will. And if he wins, we will not be talking about Wimbledon.
We will.
No, we will not. No.
Okay.
No, we'll talk about the women's and we'll talk about the doubles. We'll talk about the doubles. I am refusing. I refuse to give Novak Djokovic airtime.
I'm not sure he cares, mate.
No. Well, good, because I don't either.
Is he going to win?
Yes.
Is he going to win?
I care less.
You hate him, don't you? I thought I didn't like him. You really
hate him.
You really don't like him. I dislike him. You hate him.
Do you know what? He's the type of person who would be anti-Bazball.
Like me. Anti-lad.
He is an anti-lad, anti-Bazball.
Anti-vax.
Get him out. Anti-vaxxer. See, he's so anti. Everything is anti. Anti-Djokovic.
He's gonna win and cement his GOAT legacy, but we won't talk about that.
Right, International Fight Week. Let me go. No.
Golf, really quickly. Congratulations, Ricky Fowler. 4.5 years of not winning a golf tournament. Well done. Was due because he's playing so well.
Well done.
We don't care about the British Masters. Yeah. Take the floor with your fight week, Jez. Go.
International Fight Week. Las Vegas, baby. So we have got UFC 290. And we've got Volkanovski. He's back, baby.
He's meant to be
the little midget. The little midget is back. He is fighting. Yay. So he is now. So obviously he had a fight at lightweight where he fought Makhachev and lost. He was trying to be great, which is fucking amazing. Because when you great, that's what's great about fight sports. That's why everyone is hating Tyson Fury, because he's not daring to be great. If he didn't think about money, if money was not the object, he would have fought Joshua. he would have fought for the undisputed heavyweight championship of the world. But he's too obsessed with money. Let's not talk. He's another one that I refuse to give airtime to. Until they make that ring walk, I will not be mentioning Tyson Fury. Anti-lad. So, Volkanovski is back down at featherweight, fighting Yay Rodriguez. And then we've got Brandon Moreno is fighting. But the big one, the big fight that I cannot wait for is Robert Whittaker versus Dricus du Plessis. Mainly because if Dricus wins, then we've got an African versus an African. And we are going to be going in. Adesanya versus du Plessis in Africa. Ooh, so nice. Adesanya is Nigerian by background, based out of New Zealand, whereas Dricus du Plessis is from South Africa. They fucking hate each other. There's like apartheid shit going on there, So if Dricus could win against Robert Whittaker is by far and above the second best at that weight division. But he just cannot beat Adesanya. He's fought him 3 times and he can't beat him. So he's the best of the rest. Now Dricus,
who's favourite? Do you know?
Whittaker, sure.
Just having a quick look now.
Whittaker's
1.27. Yeah, big favourite.
Yeah, 1-4. So big favourite. However, du Plessis is a good fighter. Fighter. He knocked out Darren Till. He's he's got a really, really, really decent record. And then after all, you've got Bo Nickel as well. You've got Dan Hooker. Dan Hooker is just fucking amazing, and he's not favourite. Turner is favourite. Wow. Yeah, it's just what a fight card. What a fight card that is. Robbie Lawler I think he's on the prelims. Robbie Lawler's on the prelims. It's just fucking ridiculous. Anyway.
Who's this guy Volkanovski's facing? Yeah, Rodriguez. Any good?
Yeah, Rodriguez, yeah. So really, really, really good featherweight. He's it's a credible opponent, but Volkanovski's the GOAT. No, he's not the GOAT. Sorry, he's not the GOAT. That's ridiculous. He's the pound for pound, in my opinion, pound for pound, because he dares to be great. He's happy to go up in weight. He pushed Makhachev as far as he could push him. Makhachev is an absolute monster at lightweight. So, definitely, he's no pushover. And then in 2 weeks, we have UFC London, baby. Big Tom Aspinall,
isn't he? Yeah, he's trying to get his revenge. Because last UFC had an injury, didn't he?
So his last time that he fought, it wasn't in London. It was in over in America, I think. And he
got injured in London. I remember watching the UFC London card, and I was like,
sorry, yeah, no, it was London, but it was October, London. So great. And then the week after, we've got Poirier Gaethje, and then that's UFC 291.
That a rematch, Poirier Gaethje?
Yeah, 2. Poirier Gaethje 2. And then we have Jan Blachowicz versus Pereira on that card as well. Paulo Costa on that card. Tony Ferguson, Bobby Green on that card. Oh my God, I'm not sleeping that night. And then UFC 292, Jalma Haynes Sterling versus Sugar Sean O'Malley. Now, UFC is getting good, baby. Reignite them BT subscriptions. Reignite them. If Dana wants to employ me, he can employ me because I could be the hype man. And then UFC, we have a fight night, UFC fight night after 292 with Holloway and Korean Zombie. Holloway and Korean Zombie. Max Holloway on a fight night. This is ridiculous. So UFC is getting hot. We're into the peak of the summer and we're into the peak of the UFC.
Nice.
It is all systems go. Saturday night. I need to turn into a bat. for the next few Saturdays.
No, it's on such a bad time, isn't it?
Oh, it's terrible. Absolutely terrible.
Such a bad time.
Terrible.
Right, really quickly. Boxing. I just want to say well done to Savannah Marshall, undisputed champ. That rematch is going to be quite big.
Don't care.
I'll be watching the rematch in America. There'll be some hype there. Why not?
Don't care, because you'll get
it's not UFC.
Savannah Marshall will get bad.
Yeah, but battered by the GOAT. That's not the worst thing in the world. It's like losing to Tiger Woods in his prime.
Don't care.
She's very good. She's just not the GOAT.
Don't care. Don't care.
There's not many undisputed boxing champions, Jess.
There should be one in the heavyweight, but he's a shithouse, so yeah.
Okay, we'll gloss over that. Anything other boxing?
And I'll definitely not say that to his face.
Correct. One punch. See ya. Nothing else boxing, is there? Is there anything else to look forward to? Bit of a quiet spell. Cool. Good. I think that's good, mate. Happy to end it there. Obviously, most of this pod was dominated by Ashes, and rightly so, because it has been enthralling, to say the least. And I can't wait for test number 3, which I really do, me being me, you want entertainment. I'm desperate to win this test. Desperate. Mainly because I want it to stay live.
Would you sacrifice the entertainment for the win?
Anything.
Okay.
All about the win in the next one. We've had the entertainment. We've had 2 of the best test matches I've ever seen. I
cannot wait to see. Oh my God, wicketkeeper come out to bat. Oh my God. No, thingy. Oh my God, what's his name?
Alex Carey.
Carey, yeah. I cannot wait.
Oh, he's going to get pelters.
He is going to get so many bouncers, they're going to take his head off.
I just really want to swim because, like I say, 3-0, it's obviously literally over. 2 dead rubbers. And 2-1, close series, big tail up, test 4, hype.
Yeah, Old Trafford, hype. And we're together for that, by the way.
Yeah. So yeah, I look forward to that. I just really, really want to win this one. Really bad. Okay, good. Thanks as always for listening very much. Please follow us at Elite Sports Deb on Twitter, Elite_Sports Debate Instagram, and at Elite Sports Debate YouTube. We'd be very grateful. It helps us grow the channel. So thanks a lot in advance for that. And yeah, thanks for listening. And next time we'll have some more chat. And
there will be no Novak Djokovic chat.
All I'll be saying is he won. I expected him to. I hate him, but he's a GOAT. And on that bombshell, we'll leave it there. Thanks for listening, everyone. See you next time.